everyone, my name is Nonô and I am so excited to be doing yet another talk box. And today I am here with someone that really doesn't need any introduction. So I'm just gonna say hello and a great welcome to Alok. Hola Alok.
Hello, Nonô. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. And we're just gonna have, just a little chat, a few questions. So I'm just gonna get right into it, starting with, are you excited to be going back on tour? How is everything going? How's everything moving? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's I really don't know how it's going to be like after I don't know almost 2 years without performing. But I feel that this moment I'm coming back. I was watching my DJ set of Tomorrowland from 2 years ago, and I just can't feel me anymore like that. Things are very different for me at the moment. So to be back now in stage, I feel it's the greatest opportunity to position myself the way I believe nowadays. Of course, I mean, it was important to do what I did 2 years ago and stuff. But now I just want to be more, bring more my personality, my identities, stuff that I really believe at the moment, and for the future.
Yes. It's really hard to get back into because you were doing like 300 shows per year before pandemic and everything and before your family, and to go back into it, do you feel a bit anxious? How do you feel?
No, I don't feel anxious. I feel like I'm excited. I
Okay.
just want to do it. Like for me, I would do it tomorrow, tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel anxious. I feel very excited. It's different.
Okay, good. And especially with the new EP, do you have any song that you're most excited to play from the EP that all we have is now?
From the last EP, I would say Oxia, like Domino, right, with
Yeah,
Oxia,
yeah,
and Sunglasses at Night. Yeah.
yeah. Great songs. And speaking of Domino, which is the track that you did with Vintage Culture, it's already hit a million streams. It's a great track. Can you tell us a little bit about how that process, that collab came along?
I mean, this is a very, very, very epic song, that I used to hear like I used to play in my long sets like I don't know 6, 7 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I really loved it. And then I did the version, and then Vintage started to play this version, and then we said like, hey, don't you want to jump in? We produce together, then we release it because it was like really only like a bootleg just to perform. And then he jumped in, he worked on the song, and then yeah, we released it. Like this song actually, it was ready and done before a party on my own that I did with him.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Then why the order to release it now?
I have to ask Andy and Mario because there's some songs that, for example, in my mind, I
Yeah.
did it even before. I did it in the beginning of the pandemic, like more than 1 year from now.
Damn. That is
Yeah,
crazy. And John Legend. I mean, come on. How
yeah,
did that tell us?
but when I did it like in the beginning of the pandemic, there was no John Legend.
Yeah.
It was another artist.
Oh, so
And
how
then
did it go to
it was
him?
like a songwriter, and then my A&R and his A&R started to get in touch, and then I sent him the song, and then he loved it. Of course, we changed the song because, like, when you do a collaboration, it's very important that you can bring both personalities inside a song, and of course, like explore the maximum potential that they have. And
Mhm.
to explore this in John Legend, I had to change the dynamic, the atmosphere of the song. It went to a different way, but I'm very happy with the result, even happier than before.
Yeah, definitely. Are there any other artists that you wish to collaborate with that you still haven't?
I always had a very like I had a dream. Of course, we have many dreams, but there one that I always wanted to collaborate with the indigenous people in Brazil. I always wanted, like 7 years ago, I was looking for like, inspiration and also like some spiritual answers. And I
Mhm.
went to indigenous tribe, Yawanawa, which was like, um, I don't know how many hours of flight and then 13 hours of roads and then
Mhm.
plus 9 hours with a very small boat. And then I got there, spent like 10 days with them. And I just realized how miserable I was, because
Mhm.
I was doing songs to work into the music industry while
Mhm.
they were doing songs to bring heal, you know. And we always had like in the mindset like that there's the more developed culture and the less developed. And I just realized also that that doesn't exist.
Mhm.
What exists is like different, different values and different goals, and that
Mhm.
what brings the difference in the perspective of each culture. And I just realized how developed they are and how miserable I was in many aspects. So I went back and I didn't really work out the song. I wasn't like really feeling ready. But
Mhm.
this year I was into a very deep trip and then a journey, and then I was asking myself like, where's the future?
Yeah.
And came the answer like, the future is ancestral. I said yes. So I brought like 12 different tribes around Brazil, indigenous tribe. We went to a studio. I spent like almost 2 months producing my first album, which is inspired in indigenous roots. But I also created the album for them with the traditional songs that they have, because there's no writing.
Mhm.
If an ancient dies with him loads of songs, and some. I just wanted to create this asset so that they can have access, lifetime and also for the future generations. And yeah, I mean, this is the most important project of my career and my life for sure. And I'm very excited now. The album will be released next year together with a documentary.
Oh.
Yeah, we did the shooting everything, but also um I'm anxious, and
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna in this next show now here and Untold, I will play two of the songs that I did with them.
That's amazing. Is this with the Shakyaba tribe that you did?
No, no, I Shakira Bao was there. There were, but the ones that I'm gonna play here will be with Kariri Shoko and Guarani Kaiwa.
Wow.
And yeah, and there has many others. There's like Yawanawa, Honikuin. There's loads.
That's amazing. Did you learn any meditation or any rituals that you're still implementing nowadays in your daily life?
I mean, it's like, how can I say? It's to meditate. It's different from putting in practice. What you've learned, and I just felt that what I learned with them is something really that changes, the perspective that I have in life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. No, no, I'm just like fighting with myself with this hair. I'm gonna say this is the result of the quarantine. Look how big the hair. And it's like really like, of course I did like many ceremonies with ayahuasca with them, but I
Mm-hmm.
also have to like recommend here that ayahuasca is for everyone, but not everyone is for ayahuasca. So
Mm-hmm.
it have to have so much respect, and it's something so spiritual, and you just can't just do it the way you think. Like, you have to have people, um that are very involved and know very well this medicine to
Mm-hmm.
do the ceremony. So yeah, I would like to recommend it. But yeah, I mean, it's really like, you know, you just start to ask yourself so many questions about life that, you know, it's a different point of view. Sometimes, like, you're so close to a painting that you can't really see what's over there. But someone behind you can say like, hey, there's a house there, there's a tree there, and that's the most important lesson that I had.
Yeah, that is amazing. It's the seeing the perspective, right? Is the change,
Yeah,
seeing the
different
picture.
perspective. Yeah.
That's amazing. So in this whole journey, right, of learning about yourself. If you could talk to your younger self, to little Alok, what would you say to him now?
Um, okay, this is gonna be deep. Um, you know, in my life, since I was 12, 9 and then 12, I was living so many deep depressions, because I was always having a question in my mind. Like, the question was, what happens after death? And that just drive me crazy, like I couldn't find the answers. I just started to, um, and I just didn't want to believe in God anymore. I was complaining, everything. And after, like, when I had 24 years, of course, like, always when you try to avoid your shadow, it just becomes bigger. And then when I was 24, I had like success, fame, popularity. I was number one in Brazil, having money and stuff. And people told me that that was a success in life. And I just realized that if that was the meaning of life, my life had no meaning anymore. And the question that I had to ask, it wasn't what happened after that, but why are we here? What's the meaning of life? And that would have changed everything for me. So when I just realized that, I had to find a meaning for my life, and the music is an instrument that I have. Also, I was like, the responsibility of having inspire people. It's also, another instrument that I have to really make a difference. As I say, like, of course, I won't change the world, but I can change people's world, and that for me means a lot. And also about God, I realized, that I was always asking myself, like, hey, if God doesn't exist, because if God exists, why would have so much poverty in Africa? Why would have so much violence and stuff? And when I was like in Africa and Shockwave, I just realized that they had so much faith, and I was again the miserable there. And I realized that actually, God never abandoned them. Who did was us. So from that on, I would never more, because when you don't have consciousness about something, it's still okay to commit a mistake because you don't have conscience about it, so sometimes like it's ignorance. But once you have the consciousness about it, it's not anymore a mistake, it's a choice.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's very true, and they do say that ignorance is bliss. But when you finally break through and you understand that you have a mission, and for me, what I see is when you talk about the depression that you had and growing up and trying to get out of these dark places, I see that you took all this darkness that you have, and now you're bringing light to people, and quite not just spiritually, but you're also bringing light quite literally in your shows when you do lasers and when you do all these things. I think there's a quite beautiful side to it that sometimes people don't realize. It's coming from something deep within.
Yeah, I did a live stream show at my house.
Yeah.
And I just turned on a laser, and it was like everywhere. It was massive. It was like very intense.
Yeah.
And it blowed up. But the story behind it was actually like, I was watching so much bad news and television stuff. Like we had the virus called COVID, but we also had different virus, which was like, everyone was just getting crazy about the whole situation. I just wanted to like, how can I bring light? How can I just bring light? And I was in my house, and there was nowhere I really could do the live stream. And then the laser came really to materialize the feeling that I had, to bring light. So that was the reason behind it, behind scenes, and it worked very well.
There you go. It really served its purpose, because it's good you gave people a reason to celebrate and to be united again, to find happiness in such a difficult time. So thank you on behalf of everyone. So I have a couple more questions related about your creative process And how do you do in studios? How is it for you to create a song? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, each song has a different way and different
Mhm.
story behind it, you know, like there are songs that I'm traveling, I just, start to create a melody and then I just leave it there. And after 6 months, I just find again that melody and inspired, I just create a song. There's songs that, I receive very cool vocal melody vibes of songwriters. It
Mhm.
also inspires me. And then I produce it, we change a little bit the arrangement and stuff, but it inspires me. There's also when I just like feel so much inspiration that I create a song like in a few hours. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's it. I have a personal way to work, which is like I just don't go to the studio and open it and say, oh, let's see what's gonna happen. That never happens. It never works. Always when I say, I have to do a hit, I went to studio and never never happened. I have
Yeah.
to feel inspired,
Mhm.
and there are sometimes that I spend like 3 weeks without going to the studio, and it's
Mhm.
fine. But
Mhm.
the week after, I just go there and just make so much stuff.
Mhm.
And that's why we're creating those VAs and stuff with Controversia, because there's so much stuff that I did it, and there's no agenda and space to release it now. It's good.
But still, you've been releasing loads of songs. It's impressive. It's like, and they're great quality songs, which is the most important thing, right?
Yeah, but even though I'm releasing so much songs, I still have so many to release.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just like have a free weekend, and I just stay like 48 hours inside the studio. And my wife's like, "What are you do? Like, why are you working? You have a free week." I said, "Like, I'm not working. I'm
Yeah.
having fun."
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. What artist inspired you the most growing up?
um, okay, so there's different kind of inspirations.
Mhm.
Um, like the guy that most inspired me in my whole life is not even a DJ.
Mm.
The spiritual leader, which is called Chico Xavier. Um, and that was the guy that most inspired me. And of course, after my life, I got the huge inspiration by the indigenous people
Mhm.
with the music side.
Mhm.
Yeah. And of course, when I see other DJs that do such a great work, and a very important work, I mean, if I live what I live nowadays, it's because other DJs did it like before. They
Mhm.
put so much effort and open, a lot of roads for me to go through. So I'm very, very, grateful for all the DJs, all the movement. My parents, they're also the pioneers of the electronic psytrance scene in Brazil. So, it's a lot of gratitude for all of them.
Mhm.
I really love when like DJs. I'll give you some examples. For example, David Guetta, Tiesto, like Chainsmokers, like Daft Punk, Avicii, like people that Calvin Harris, which break the barriers of the electronic segment and go into like more like in the pop world. I really, it inspires me a lot.
Did you face many obstacles in your career, like starting, especially being like a pioneer of Brazilian house-based music?
Every day I'm still facing, and I
Yeah.
still, it will never stop. It will never stop. It will never end. This is very good actually, because it puts you always in movement. And I love this. I love this. There are people that don't like much, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like really like every day just had so much going on. And I just feel that, to be very honest with you, like the feeling that I have, and I always saying this, is like I'm just in the beginning. It's
Mm-hmm.
just starting. And every day for me is the beginning of something. Every day is the start of something. Um, because it happens good stuff and bad stuff in life. But I really do not like hold myself to the bad stuff and the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel that sometimes we commit mistakes, but I try to convert the mistake to a lesson. You know,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, like, I think that the biggest obstacle that I faced, like, was really trying to find myself, you know,
Mm.
what made my heart, you know, what makes me feel alive.
Mhm.
And you know, crossing the barriers of the electronic scene segment to like this kind of pop world, I think that was the biggest challenge.
Especially because it's something that in Brazil we see a lot of sertanejo and funky, and when you're bringing something that is, it has an international touch to it, it's hard to show people like, listen, we can make a big mixture. It's something that for me as well was hard when I was back in Brazil still, that I was trying to show people that I love my Brazilian roots, but I also love all these influences from the world. And when I saw you doing it, I was like, wow, you can actually do it. So, congratulations.
People in Brazil thought I wasn't Brazilian.
Exactly. So, you grew up in a very musical family. Not only your parents, but also Bashka. Your brother is also a DJ and producer. So, can you tell us a little bit about how it was growing up, the environment musically, and, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have now two kids, and I
Mhm.
just realized that they don't do anything that you tell them to, but they do everything that you do. You repeat. And my
Huh.
parents, they were always like, you shouldn't be a DJ. It's too hard to live through art. It's very risky. It's informal. You know, we're seeing like, you know, it's hard. It's tough. We want you to study, to do university and stuff. But as I said, you know, my dad, he does a festival for the last 20 years,
Mhm.
which I think is the biggest in South America of the counterculture, like really like into like this alternative festivals, like 30,000 people every 2 years, 7 different stages. Is very cool, and it's called Universo Paralelo, and that was my school, you know, and my
Mhm.
university because really like I just felt so good when I was there. And I started to create my own stuff since I was 12. I created songs for other artists. That was my video game. And that was something that was really like a passion.
Mhm.
And, you know, I started to do with my twin brother, Baska. But in 2009, we we separated and I created Alok. And, you know, it had the moment in my life, of course, which I was really in doubt about really following it. Like, if I'm gonna really like take the risk and become a DJ, or if I'm gonna do the. I was in the middle of the university, and then my dad just told me like, you know, I've been always telling you that you have to study and stuff, but I would tell you like, if I had your talents, I would be flying,
Mhm.
and I don't know why you're so much in the ground here. And I was like, wow, okay. So it, you know, it was a push that I needed, and then I just things just started to happen well, and I just abandoned the university after 2 years. And you know, I just feel that I did the best choice in my life. You know, it's like sometimes I just don't know what could be. You
Mhm.
know, what my life could be if it wasn't a musician producing a DJ.
Mhm.
I have really not a plan B.
Damn. And you're also running for DJ Mag Top 100 DJ. You got number 5 last year. Are you looking for getting number 1? How would that? What would that mean to you?
Okay, I'll be very honest with you. In one of those journeys that I had, it came to me in a very strong, like, you know, answer. Like, it doesn't really matter if I'm number one.
Mhm.
What matters is really to do the difference, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm just chilled, you know. I know that I'm doing stuff that makes sense to my life, and
Mhm.
this fills me up with so much, you know, grateful and happiness and stuff. And I feel that, you know, to be the top 5 in the world is something very, very amazing already, and brings so much also inspiration, but also for the Brazilians, you know. And, and yeah, just keep pushing, you know. I will just keep pushing my career, and let's see what happens.
Yeah. So Do you know what's next on your journey? You've been announced as Rock in Rio, playing Rock in Rio 2022, which is a dream. I mean, if you need a singer, I'm here. I can do a live show with you. I mean, I'm just putting this out there. But are you excited for that?
Yeah, you know, it's a very magic festival. It's something that, of course, like we as Brazilian, we always see Rock in Rio as like I think it's the main event that we have in our country, and to be there performing on the main stage, Palco Mundo and stuff, it's something just like you know, surreal.
Yeah. It's an absolute dream. And what is also an absolute dream, and it's going to be our finishing question and statement, more or less, is that we have a song coming out called Sky High, and hopefully it'll be coming out the end of this year. But I'm very excited to announce it with you here.
Yeah, and it's going to be released in Controversia,
Yes.
but you don't know when.
I don't, do you?
I mean, you know, it's good to announce because it can't take 1 year as it took in my mind.
Exactly. I'm just putting a flag here. Hello, Controversia. Hello, Andy, Mario. This is an announcement.
Yes. So let's give a date and then they have to just make it happen.
Exactly, just do it. So I wanted to thank you very much, Alok, for taking your time, and I want to wish you all the best luck for the shows that are starting now, and a lot of energy and positive vibration because you deserve it, and you're doing such an amazing job to show people that there is more, there's light, there's good, there's kindness in this world. So thank you on behalf of everyone, and keep shining.
And I mean, I'm so happy to have you on board. You're doing great, fantastic. And you know, like well done. And we couldn't have like a better person here taking care of Controversy and making this happen. So congrats.
Thank you very much, Alok. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.